Hello and welcome to the morning sports briefing here on Sunday, the 21st of March. In the news today, we have the snow sports news with the half pipe the World Cups in Aspen. We also have cycling news as we've had the first monument of the season with Milan San Remo over in the Gulf. The PGA and the European Tour are both taking place. We've got football action in the A-League and the New Zealand Premiership. We've also got basketball with the NBA and the NBL. In the rugby, we'll bring us through the Super Rugby and the Six Nations. We've got NRL games and also cricket, international cricket action with India, England, Afghanistan, Zimbabwe, and also the first game between Bangladesh and New Zealand. So it is a packed morning here, and I'll be your host this morning. I'm Paul. Well, and this is your best way to start the day up to speed with all of the important sports news. And yes, our skiers continued to do well at the World Cup. In the Nico Portas has qualified in top spot for the half pipe finals, and Miguel Portas is also through to the finals as well. So great start there, or great qualifying for those two, and I'll bring you up to speed with how they go in the finals here on the morning sports briefing at 7 a.m. every single morning. Staying over there in the States, in the Gulf, in the PGA, we've got the Honda Classic. Unfortunately, no Kiwis taking part in this one. Currently, Wise leads the tournament at 12 under par, 2 shots clear of Jones in that one. He's yet to take, and that's after 2 rounds. The third round is underway currently. Sticking with golf and over at the Kenya Open, again, no Kiwis taking part in this one, but Harding is leading that one at 16 under, 2 shots clear of the chasing pack. Again, the third round. That's at the end. That's after the third round in that one. Moving back to the States and into basketball in the NBA, 10 games from yesterday. Looking at some of the key results there, the Jazz beat the Raptors 115 to 112. The Heat were downed by the Pacers 137 to 110. And the Suns beat the Timberwolves 113 to 101. What does that mean for the tables? Well, the 76ers still lead the Nets and the Bucks in the Eastern Conference, but the Bucks on a 5-game winning streak, closing the gap on those top two who have both lost their last games. Over on the Western side, the Jazz lead the way ahead of the Lakers and the Suns in that one. The Lakers, though, making a bit of charge with a 4-game winning streak on that side of things. Moving on to the NBL, so basketball action in Australia. 2 games yesterday. The Phoenix beat the 36ers in overtime, 96 to 89 in that one. And the Breakers took on the Bullets. The Bullets took a small lead in the first half, leading at 44 to 39 at halftime. But it was the third quarter where all the damage was done. The Bullets won that one 20 points to 9, and to win the game 88-67 in that one. For the Breakers, Ty Webster with 19 points led the way, but it wasn't enough for the Bullets. Harry Frolling with 20 points was their leading scorer. A double-double off the bench for Matt Hodgson as well, with 10 rebounds and 16 points there. What does that mean for the table? Well, unfortunately, the Breakers still stuck down there in 8th place, second from bottom in that one. The Wildcats still lead at the top ahead of Melbourne United and the Hawks. Sticking over in Australia, there was NRL action yesterday, and do join the Standoff show on Wednesday evening at 8 p.m, where they'll review the whole of the round, as well as look forward to round 2. In this one yesterday, the Bulldogs got thumped by the Panthers 28-0. The Rabbitohs got a comfortable win over the Sea Eagles 26-12, and the Dragons beat the Cowboys 25-18. As I say, join the Standoff boys at 8 p.m. on a Wednesday. Sticking over in Australia with the A-League, only one game yesterday after Sydney FC versus Melbourne United was postponed. Macarthur FC beat Western United 2-1 in that one. Macarthur FC, the new team in the A-League, going really well in their first season, up in 3rd place currently. They have played a few more games than the teams behind them. The Phoenix will be in action today at 6 p.m, taking on Brisbane Roar in that one. We'll be rounding up that game on the Knicks newsletter on Wednesday evening at 9 p.m, where they'll be talking about how the Phoenix went. They'll also be with it'll be a watch party, a watch along, as the Wellington Phoenix take on Melbourne Victory on Wednesday at 9 p.m. So do watch that game on your TV, and then have your computer up for the Knicks newsletter and chat with the guys as to how the game is going. Also, for supporters of New Zealand Sport Radio, we've released a show yesterday looking at the impact of a potential trans-Tasman travel bubble on both the Breakers, the Phoenix, and the Warriors. So you can become a supporter of New Zealand Sports Radio at NZ Sport Radio. Sorry, that's nzsportradio.com, and get insight into the impact of that. Moving on then to the gone blank. The New Zealand Premiership. It's the grand final today between Auckland City and Team Wellington. The guys in Knicks News did cover off on this one during their show last week. This is the last time these two teams will take on each other in this tournament, as we have a reformat for next season, where the clubs, rather than these franchises, will be playing the national tournament. So this is a big send-off for the tournament. Auckland City versus Wellington at 3 p.m. or 10 past 3 today. In Olympic news, the organisers have told the Olympic organising committee that it was highly unlikely that entry to the country could be guaranteed for spectators. So it looks like that it will. This obviously due to coronavirus. So it looks like that it's going to be just Japanese fans in stadiums, if any fans at all, at events. The games are still due to take place on the 20th, or start on the 23rd of July, with the Paralympics starting on the 24th of August. This weekend saw the first of the monuments, which are the 5 one-day races in cycling, the 5 top one-day races in cycling, and Jasper Stuyven took a surprise victory at Milan San Remo, breaking with a late breakaway to foil the hopes of the sprinters such as Caleb Ewan, who came in second. So a big win for Jasper Stuyven. So congratulations to him from the Trek Segafredo team. I've not watched the race yet, but I will be doing so. So a very good result for him. Moving on then to the cricket, and the India and England played out the 5th T20. They came into this one tied at 2-all. Sorry. India went into bat first and put up a impressive score of 224. Kohli batted through the innings, scoring 80 runs. He had an opening stand of 94 with Rohit Sharma, who scored 64. He was then joined by Yadav, who scored 32, and finally Pandey, who scored 39, not out. So impressive batting from India there. England lost Jason Roy in the opening over, but Josh Buttler and Milan put together a 130 stand for the second wicket. Josh Buttler eventually out 52 and Milan out for 68. Unfortunately, no for England. Nobody else could stick around, and England reached 188 for 8 off their 20 overs, meaning that India won by 36 runs and took the series 3-2 in that one. So congratulations to India in their series victory for that one. Kumar, the bowler who got player of the match, off his 4 overs, he just gave up 15 runs, as well as taking 2 wickets, really putting a strangle on the England innings there. We also had the first one-day international. We'll come back to that one. We also had the third T20 between Afghanistan and Zimbabwe. Afghanistan scored 183 for 7 in their innings, with Zadran not out for 72, leading the way for his side off just 35 balls. In reply, Zimbabwe made 136 for 5, never really at the races in this one, to lose the series 3-0 to Afghanistan in that one. We had the first one-day international between Bangladesh and New Zealand down in Dunedin. Bangladesh went into bat first and were all bowled out for 131 off 41 and a half or 41.5 overs. Leading the way was Trent Boult with 4 wickets from his from just under 9 overs there. Matt Henry took 1, James Neesham a couple, but who also was involved in run out, and Santner got 2 as well. In reply, Martin Guptill got put on a 54-run stand with Henry Nicholls scoring 38 to start things off. Henry Nicholls stuck around and batted all the way through to the end, scoring 49 runs, not out. He was joined by Devon Conway for 27 and Will Young for 11, not out, as New Zealand knocked off the runs comfortably off just over 21 overs to score 132 for 2. So New Zealand won by 8 wickets with 172 balls to spare. A very comfortable win for them over Bangladesh in the first ODI down there. Looking at the rugby then, we had 2 games in Super Rugby yesterday. First off, we had the Hurricanes versus the Chiefs, and the Hurricanes dominated the first quarter, or at least on the scoring. The first half. At least on the scoring, they did, and it looked like the Chiefs were heading towards that record of the most ever losses in a trot, when the score was 26 for 7 at half time. After half time, though, the Chiefs really turned it on, with Tiatia, Webb, and Arcoy all scoring tries. Dave McKenzie having a big hand in the first 2 to come back to 26-28. Geordie Barrett knocks out a penalty late on to get a 1-point lead, but Luke Jacobson crashed over for a try, so that the Chiefs fought back to win 29-35 in that one. So a massive result for the Chiefs. Join us at 8 p.m. this evening when we will review all of the Super Rugby action, with 2 games in Super Rugby AU and 2 games in Super Rugby Aotearoa. The Reds then took on the Western Force, which everyone had the Reds as heavy favourites in this one, but they only led 14-13 at halftime. The Force putting up a very good defensive effort in this one. But in the end, the Reds had too much for the Force, winning that one 26-19. But it did go down right to the final play. Also, we have 6 Nations action going on right now. First off, Scotland beat Italy earlier this morning at 52-10 in that one, a comfortable win there. At the moment, it is in the second half, 65 minutes gone between Ireland and England. Ireland leading that one 26-11 there in that one. Coming up at 9 a.m., we have France versus Wales, which is key to how the championship. If Wales win that, they'll become Grand Slam champions. If not, then France will go on to play Scotland in that delayed coronavirus game to decide whether they will win the championship or not. You have now started the day the best way to be with all of the important sports news. Actually, I've just got one last piece in here. In boxing, Joseph Parker has been confirmed to fight Derek Chisora in May. That was going to take place on May the 2nd in that one. That fight is also been set up there. So you have now started your day the best way up to with all of the important sports news. Have a wonderful Sunday, folks, and I'll be back tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. for the morning sports briefing.